Hi, I'm Pamela, and welcome to Green Stick Cottage, where I do all the stitchy things I can whenever the cats allow me to. This is FlossTube number 6, and I have a little bit of a treat. At least it was a big treat for me. In my, I'm calling it my craft room recovery project, where I am trying to reestablish my craft room as a craft room, and instead of a dumping ground or storage place or whatever it's been through the years since it got out of my control. And I unearthed this cool little trunk, and I remember when I got this as kind of a sewing kit or storage place. I also thought I might use it as a footrest because it's padded on the top, and but I just love the fabric on it, and I remember I loved it, so I found things inside, and but I've taken them all out so I can show them, most of them out. But it also has this little tray in here. Oops. And so I know what most of the things are, but there's a tool in here that I'm not sure what it is. Like, this is my latch hook, my pretty purple latch hook for, latch hooking. So I recognize that right away, but I'm not sure what this tool is. It is, it has a wooden handle, and it has this slotted thing at the end. So maybe somebody recognizes what this is, because I can't remember. It's probably been 30 years since I've been into this trunk. So I'll show you some of the other things I found. One of the things I was real excited about, and some of these things probably came from my mother and or my grandmothers or great grandmothers, and but right here this is a little crocheted button. I don't know if it's going to focus in well enough to see it, but it's very tiny thread. There's one of them. There's actually two, and I thought these were really amazing because of how tiny the thread is, and so I'm happy about those. And then I also found this strawberry. And I did not make it, but so like I said, it was either my mother or one of my grandmothers or great grandmothers who made this, and it's starting to kind of separate right here, so I'm going to have to do some repair work on it, but it's very nice, and I'm really happy I found it. So I'm going to be playing with that and fixing this little attachment here. So that's my strawberry. And then I found this. I'm not sure what to make of this. I think it might have been something I started as a youngster, and it went horribly wrong, and it's just been sitting here ever since. So it's just this little tiny hoop, and so I'm not sure what I'll do with that, but it gave me a little chuckle to see that. And then I found these little. I remember seeing these a lot. I don't see them very much anymore, but they're little tiny painted clothespins, and in all these different colors, and Whoops. And so I was planning on making, using these for cross stitch pieces and, making little, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I know it had something to do with cross stitching that I was doing these. Then I found some hand sewing needles, and they're easy threading, which is good that's what I need. So those will always come in handy. And of course, you with the needles. And I found all my thimbles to go with my needles. So this is the, I think this was the leather one, or one of my leather ones. Well, I must not, I've never used this, so I'm not sure what it is. It's never been opened. But I was always searching for a thimble where the needle wouldn't poke through the thimble into my finger. I had many mishaps like that. Oh, there's a little locket in with the thimbles. Cute. I'll have to see what I can do with that. Anyway. Wow. This one was my mother's. It has her name taped on here. So this one was my mother's. And now this one has some kind of thing in there. Maybe that's going to be protective. I don't know. I used to have a leather one, and I really liked the leather one. But I don't know where that one is. It's not with these. Here's some more. These, I think a couple of these are just, well, that's the one that's got the plastic or whatever in it. This just looks like your garden variety one. And, but this one says New Orleans on it. And I've never been to New Orleans. So, maybe my mother, maybe these all came from my mother. But that one says New Orleans. And I've never been there. But she has. And this is another, souvenir type thimble. And I'm trying to see where it's from. Mackinac Bridge in Michigan. I've never been to Michigan. So again, these must have come from my mother, I'm going to say, because of the one that has her name taped on it. I'm going to think these are all from my mother. Okay, so that's the thimbles I found. The souvenir ones probably aren't going to be serviceable, but maybe, maybe something else will come in handy. And some of you may have these. I remember these. These are for picking out your fabrics, to figure out shades or tones or something, to figure out dark and light. And so I have those. One's red, one's green. I don't think I ever learned exactly how to use these properly, so if anyone wants to advise, I would appreciate it. And then I have, well, this whole container, I remember this is where I always had my buttons, and I have since, developed more button storage elsewhere, but I have a lot of, this is a Tupperware container, so I have a lot of buttons in here, some pretty hearts, and oh, there's the Pink Panther, look at that. I got a few of these Pink Panther ones. I don't know why I had him, but he's cute. And then I remember this one. I can't remember what it came from, but it's a P for Pamela. And see if there's any other interesting ones. I think the Pink Panther was the most interesting. Yep, other than that, they're pretty much your usual that you find at the store. So I can add to my button collection. I also found this was also in there. It's just a whole bunch of zippers, all kinds of zippers. So when I get my sewing machine set up and working, I'll be able to make project bags or whatever I want. I'll have plenty of zippers to choose from. And I remember getting this. This is very handy. It's called a book minder. So this holds your crafting book open. And so I'm glad I have this again available for use. And then I have also in there, this thing was packed full of a lot of stuff. So I was glad to find it. Let me see if I can get this open. This is the ultimate marking pencil for quilters. And some of you may have this. And anyway, it's got, looks like I put another one in there. And there's some refills and stuff, but that's what that looks like. I think I just stored another one in there. And then this is a little container of refills. It's the ultimate marking pencil for quilters and crafters. So it's a marking pencil for all of us. Okay. And then I found this cute little cutting mat, rotary cutting mat, June Taylor. Isn't that a cute one? That's for cutting little things. And it says I Heart Quilting on it. And so it's 5x5. So that will come in handy. And I don't know, some of you may remember this, but when you had subscriptions to Oxmoor House publications or House of White Birches, you sometimes got gifts like this. So this is from Oxmoor House, and this is from House of White Birches. They might be the same ownership, I don't know. But these are rotary cutting mats from them. And looks like 7x9. Yep. So I don't know if I ever used these, but they were in here with my little cute one. I still like this one. Okay. And now we get to the quilting templates. So I have some sets of quilting templates. So here is well, we don't need to show my old address or any of that. So we have the hexagon for Grandmother's Flower Garden. And this one is just various shapes, geometrics. And then the Dresden plate up here. And my address label at that time in the 90s was so cute. Look at it. So there's some templates. And then I also had these templates. None of this has been used, by the way. So this one is Baby's Blocks. And next is Bear Paw. That's my sister's favorite quilt block, is Bear Paw. And then Double Irish Chain. And Indian Trails. This is all doing it the old-fashioned way. Pineapple. I was trying to collect all the, classic things. Drunkard's Path. There's Misty. Video bombing. And bay leaf. So I could practice curves. So, someday I will put these into use and see if I can do them. And I also found this, remember when this first came out, the photo transfer paper, so you could make quilts with photographs and transfer the photographs onto fabric. And so I've never used that either, but hopefully I will. And then my big pad of tracing paper, which the cats back then had their way with and chewed up this corner. But yeah, so it's just regular tracing paper, so I can use that. Then I found, this is one of my happier finds. This is a graph paper notebook, spiral notebook. And this is where I did some planning, and this is a quilt that I was designing, that I wanted to make, and so I guess this was my first sketch here, and then I refined it down here, and I had a one of those small American flags that, like for Veterans Day or something. I had one of those, and so that's what gave me the inspiration to create a quilt with it in the center. And this is what I came up with, the bald eagle. And so anyway, so I was glad to find that. I don't know that I'll ever make that, but it was neat to see that I was doing it. Then there was some kind of a challenge at one point, and so it was in my quilting guild. We were gonna anyway. I just remember, here's what I'm gonna do for mine. Is I was going to make a quilt in the shape of Nevada. So here's all my workings on it, trying to figure out how to shape it the closest to the shape of Nevada, because that's where I lived at the time. And I was going to put Battleborn on here, and because that's what it says on the Nevada flag. And so this was my final, I had to tape pages together, but this was my final measurement, my final design for the, I didn't want to do the curved thing down here, so I kind of did it this way. And so that, and then apparently I was going to have something in the center, because I have this square marked off. I'll have to look at the Nevada flag again, because I know that's what I was kind of going by. And then here, I was designing a dress. I must have had a piece of fabric that said "I Heart Quilts" on it, or maybe I just got the idea from that cute little cutting mat. But I was making a dress here, or I was planning to make a dress, and a skirt. So on the back I was doing a skirt with "I Love Quilting." So anyway, so that's all I had. And so now I have this graph paper, all this graph paper that I can use for planning other projects. So so that's all the highlights from my little trunk there that I found and was so excited about. All right, now I'll move on to I have a couple of finishes. So one of them is my Create Every Day that was designed by Teresa Kogut. And I guess I should leave space to put where I was at last time up here. So hopefully I can add that in. And so here's the final. Here's what it finally looks like. And so I'm glad the needle I used, I had some kind of silvery sparkly thread, and that was in the stash that my friend's mother-in-law gave me before she moved out of the country. And then I found some gray thread, and so I did a blended thing with the sparkly and with the gray, and made the needle. And I was pretty happy. I can see that it, I can see it looking like a needle. I don't know if it shows up as well on here, but anyway, so I got that done. So now I've got to frame it. And if you can recommend any good framing tutorials, because I'll be doing it myself somehow, some way. And this was worked with those unknown flosses, on this. And this fabric came in that stash too. It's 11 count, and I think it's an ivory color. It doesn't look white enough to be white, and so I worked 3/1 on this 11 count Aida. So that's Create Every Day, and I really like that. Now my other finish was also a start since the last FlossTube video, and I decided to make myself a name tag when I go to my handcrafters group. And so there was a piece of this dark blue, let me take it out of the name tag, this name badge thingy. It was a dark blue Aida 14 count, and I didn't bring the book in here, but I got these corner designs and the alphabet from a book called 2001 or something, cross-stitch patterns. I've shown it before, but one of my daughters, when she saw it, I was showing them on video chat and showing them my name badge. I want one. She saw, I want one. I'm like, really? What do you need a name badge for? Even when I showed it off at the handcrafters group, they're all like, what do you need a name tag for? We all know who you are. And I said, well, when new people come in, it's easier if you have a name tag. I was going to offer to make everybody a name tag. And then, I got, a less than enthusiastic reaction. And so I guess I won't make everybody a name tag, or maybe I will. And because I did buy a dozen of these little holders and a dozen of these little clippy things that go on the holders. And so maybe I'll just make them anyway and give them to them, and they can do whatever they want with it. And so that's my name tag. So that was a start and a finish. Oh, I forgot. The last two, the best thing that was in this little trunk was these two cross stitches finishes from 1996. And there was, I can't remember the name of the magazine, Country. It's got Country in the name, and I think it was published by Jeremiah Junction. And they had a whole series going, and I was subscribed to this magazine for years. I wish I could find them all. Hopefully I will be able to find them all, and hopefully they will be intact, because I loved those magazines. But they had this series going that was all the names of Jesus. And so I think these were the first ones. And so you have Jesus, friend of sinners. and I finished it with a craft stick and little, I painted these little wooden ornaments, and so I thought they were really pretty. So this is 1996, and so that's the first one. And then this one is Jesus, Star of Jacob, and unfortunately one of the points on one of the stars has broken off, and I couldn't find it down in there to glue it back on. So it might have gotten lost before it got put in the trunk. And but I love this style of cross stitching, the country craft type style. So there's some old finishes there, and I don't want to leave those out. And another, let's see, yeah, so the name tag was a start, but also a finish. This is a start that has not been finished, and this is Make It Do by Heartstring Samplery, I think. And so I still had those unknown threads left over from when I finished Create Every Day, and so hopefully I can post a photo of Make It Do. I think there's a photo, but it's a free chart. So I got started, and I started with the greens for the border, and I was able to finish off one green, and then I started another. I'm starting from the darkest green, and I'm going to work my way to the lightest green as I go along. So we'll see how that turns out for the border, but that's as far as I am this time. So that is Make It Do. Then on my whips, I have made some progress on Fighting Demons, which, let's see, let me show what the finished what it looks like when it's finished. Let's see, I think I have to turn down to make this show properly. I don't know, there's tricks to this that I don't know, but I've seen other people do it very well. But this, oh, sorry about that. Maybe I can edit that out, because that probably is very loud. So here it is, Fighting Demons. Come on. I'm too uncoordinated for this. Let's try it again, because I love this sampler. So okay, I think I've recovered from the disaster, and I'm just calling it Fighting Demons because I'm not going to take possession of any demons. So that's my little take on it, is just to call it Fighting Demons. And hopefully I can put up a picture of where I was last time, and then now I could show you where I am now. And I've managed to finish the I've done the back stitching for the border. This is page 1 I'm working on, and I've done the back stitching, which is in between all the little squares here. I guess I need to I should have brought my board in here to do this. And then I rewarded myself for doing all the back stitching so far, and started on that upper left corner dragon wing. So I was real excited to do that because I was really wanting to get to the dragon. So that's as far as I've gotten on Fighting Demons. And next I worked on Joy in the Journey, and hopefully I can insert a picture of where I was on that one. But at this point I have, let's see if I can get this to, yeah, I forgot the magic whiteboard. But I have finished the inner border, and so all the colors are finished. The only color that I have left to stitch is this 3051 that is the outer border. All the other colors are finished, and it's just this outer border, and then I'll be done. Yay! Started this in 2020, and it's called Joy in the Journey. It's a Jan Lin kit, and I didn't bring in I'm not prepared. I keep thinking I know what I'm doing, but I'm still learning. Then I'm forgetting things. And so this is on 14 count Aida and 2/1 on this. And the Fighting Demons, this was this is 32 count. Which way does it go? Oh, it's this way. This is 32 count Stormy Night, I think, Lugana, and it is 2/2. And I'm using DMC number 815 as my single color for this piece. And the Make It Do, this is also still some of that 11 count that was in that stash. And so that's 3/1 Aida. And so I think I've caught up on all those particulars. And then I also worked on my spring bookmark, which is 14 count Aida. I worked 2/1. And it is these little pre-made bookmarks come from Hirschner's. And they sell them in a pack of 12 with different color salvage, serging on the sides there. And it's nice and stiff. And so I have gotten started on the I've finished this first daisy except for the back stitching. And I've got all the background done to here. And I started I've started the second of 3 daisies. So it's coming along a little bit at a time. And then I got to work on Light by Barbara Anna Design. And I wasn't very far, but I've made it quite a bit farther, I think. And this one is another 11. I think this is an 11 count. Aida, yes, I think it's the same fabric as the Make It Do. Yes, I believe so. And the Create Every Day. So, it's like an ivory colored 11 count Aida, and I have made this arch. I'm getting down to the end of the left side of the arch. This is a 2-page pattern. So that's why it stops over here, up here. And I'm going to force myself to finish the berries and the leaves before I start on the fox's tail. So hopefully I have put in a picture so you can see what it looks like, what it's going to look like, and how far I was last time. Hopefully I can do that. And so that's my whips for now. I have come up with a whole new system, a card file, to keep track of all my whips of every craft. And so having a system like that makes it easier for me to have more whips. And I haven't counted how many I found and put in the card file there. But I know it's cross stitch, it's less than a dozen, maybe 10. I'm going to allow myself 2 more starts and rotate a dozen. So we'll see how that goes. But there's also, there's quilting. I've got a quilting project I want to start. And there's thread crochet, there's yarn crochet, there's knitting, there's plastic canvas, needlepoint, there's plarn, plastic yarn, there's fabric yarn, there's t-shirt yarn projects going on. So there's a lot in that I'm gonna have to get a bigger box. I can see a bigger file box than that. Okay, so now I've gotten some new acquisitions, but I want to talk about something I've talked about before. And in my last library book sale stuff that I got was these 2 books of bibs, cross-stitch patterns for bibs. And it occurred to me, I kept thinking, well, I can do something with these because I'm not going to make bibs. But it occurred to me these would be great for bookmarks. So I thought I would pass that along. If you ever see books like this with these patterns for bibs or towels, but you don't really want to make those, these might make good bookmarks. Like I know there was one here, like these butterflies I really liked. I thought those would make a good bookmark. And even these hearts here would. And definitely I want to make myself the unicorn one right here. So anyway, I just thought I'd pass that along because I had a new purpose for these. But the new ones I got are this one here, which, let's see, is there a bigger picture? Nope. Anyway, I'll have to just show the small picture on the front. It's called White Peacocks, designed by Diana Lair. But isn't that beautiful? And it's full coverage. It is. I don't know that I will ever be able to do this, but I just thought it was gorgeous. And it is several pages of charting. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's 8 or 10 pages. Anyway, a lot. But isn't it beautiful? So if I ever get ambitious to start a full coverage project, it'll probably be this. So there's that. And then I got this Pegasus and Unicorn. Who does this one? Stephanie Seabrook Hedgepath. So Pegasus and the Unicorn. So both of those are lovely. I love both of those. So maybe those will come along. Be on my needle someday. And this one is so adorable. 100 more. So there must be, there must be a first volume of this. 100 more cross-stitch lovable pets. And look at all of these animals. Little cute little things. Oh my gosh. And the back cover. I just love this. Everybody in my handcrafters group, we meet at the library. And before I go in to the room where we meet, I always go in the little sale room and see what I can find. And so last time I found these, and everybody was passing this one around. Everybody liked this. And then there's a middle section. I think it's in the middle. Where are you? No, it's at the front, where you have a whole bunch more. So you can see all of these cute little animals. I love that betta fish. I used to have bettas. And of course I love all the cats and dogs. And anyway, they're all adorable. So, well, they're all lovable. That's what it says. So those were my finds at the library book sale room. And for my plans, I really, 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 really wanted to start Mother's Tree. This is a lavender and lace pattern that I ordered, and it looks like this. See if I can get the glare off of it. And I really want to start this one. However, you can't even choose. I have the threads because there's only 3 colors in it. And I ordered those when I ordered the pattern. And you cannot even choose your fabric until you graph out all the names you're going to do, or at least count up all the names you're going to do, because you have to know the longest line that's going to be on your piece. and then you have to center this design at the top by that center, by that longest name, that longest line. So I did my full name, my date of birth, or my year of birth, and the mother of, like it says on here. I actually grafted that all out this is my current graph notebook thing. And anyway, I tried to figure it out. I think the E is going to have to come over a little more, one more square. And I'm thinking, and I have to do 11 lines on mine. So that means, I might just, if it weren't for little things like this, like the E needing to be closer to the M, but it would touch the M, so I'm not sure if I want to do that. So I might have to, I don't know how to do it I want to do it faster so I can pick a fabric and get started stitching. But, so maybe I should just count every letter in the alphabet, capital and small, lowercase, and just try to estimate it. I don't know, but I'm worried about it because I want this obviously to be an heirloom piece. So I might have to just keep doing it. I kind of bargained with myself and said just graph out one name per day, and not the whole line, just one name, not just first name or middle name or last name, etc. So we'll see, but I really, really want to start this. So but there's other things I want to start too, but I don't want to get sidetracked. I really want to get to where I can start this. So, and I know I have some big pieces of fabric from that stash where I got all these 11 counts. There's smaller count fabrics that are, big and more yardage size that will probably work for this, but I just have to know how wide. I know how tall it's going to be. I think I wrote that down somewhere, because at least the height of the letters is consistent, and so you can figure out how tall you need the fabric to be. I guess I didn't write it down. Anyway, so I really want to do this one. So that's coming up, and if I don't get sidetracked, hopefully I'll get started on this. So that's my FlossTube number 6, and thank you for watching, and I hope you're finding all kinds of stitching type treasures and enjoying new starts and all that fun stuff. I know it's Sampler September. I'm already doing the Fighting Demons sampler, and there's also Smalls in September. There's also the BAP to school project. I figure my Fighting Demons fulfills that as well, because it's like 400 stitches by 400 stitches. So anyway, other than that, I'm not starting any new stuff. We'll see if I stick to that. So I hope you're having a wonderful stitchy time whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.